what's up, guys? So we got some new 7 stars, so it's time for us to do the new 7-star tier list as well as showcase every 7-star in the game. Let's start with these ones first. All right, here we go, guys, to training mode. Also, make sure you guys comment down below what star should we make my new code unit, guys. And remember to comment down any other suggestions you have, either for the attacks, the abilities, starting price, what the unit should be good for, etc. Because, yeah, this is our unit, guys. Let's get it. All right, so the first unit we're going to be taking a look at is Kurama. I know a lot of people don't even know this unit exists, guys. But yeah, here it is, Kurama. Yeah, it's real. Like, this was part of the Star Pass way back. It's called Beast Spawner. Now, unfortunately, the model no longer exists. I guess it got content deleted, which is unfortunate. But at least we still have the Susanoo version. So take a look at this, man. This guy is a beast. Now, the thing is, he sucks for raid mode, so I'm not even going to bother showing you the raid mode stats. And honestly, for infinite mode, he's kind of mid. I'm not going to lie. Like, if we take a look at his stats, like, because remember, you can only place one of him. So, like, 17.7 for 6, like, overall is good, but it's still kind of mid, especially considering how low his range is. So, I don't know if I can actually recommend this guy. So, yeah, I might get some hate for this, but we're going to have to drop him into we're gonna probably drop him into the C tier, guys. Nobody uses this unit. There's just better options for infinite mode. All right, next up we have Naruto. Now, Naruto, the thing that makes him better than Susanoo is this starting stats right here, guys. This man does insane lightning / yellow enchant damage. Like, if you guys are on the Marine HQ raid, he's gonna be pretty good. Also, like, not gonna lie, his damage isn't even that bad either. Like, here's his infinite mode damage. Now, also, what really makes him decent... Actually, let's go showcase you his effects, too, while we're at it. So, here's his starting effects. All right, right there. Give me a second. Here's his starting effects. So, they're actually pretty sick. You got that. He summons Kurama. All right. And then, here's his final raid mode upgrade, guys. That's a good bit of damage, man. That's 100,000 DPS with no buff. Like, that's actually pretty dang good. I'm not gonna lie. And here's that. Looks pretty sick. And then we have his final one as well, Shuriken Beast Blast. All right. Now, the thing about this unit is he actually might become tradable. I'm not sure yet, because there's also an orb involved. So, yeah. But other than that, he's unobtainable, which is kind of sad. All right. Next up, we have Sasuke, and then we'll rank both of them. Now, Sasuke, unfortunately, they nerfed him a lot. They should probably unnerf him now, but he has Black Flame, so you can basically multiply his damage by 21. It's a lot like Rupture on the new Guts. All right. Also, the nice thing about him is he's the only Black Flames unit that I know of that actually hits airs. Yeah, it's pretty insane. So I definitely highly recommend this guy if you're doing any air modes, because his overall DPS is very high for an air unit. Yes, sir. All right. So ranking them, we're gonna give Sasuke A tier. For 7 stars. Now remember, these are all 7 stars, so they're probably all S tier or A+ tier on the normal list, but we're just ranking them against each other. And Naruto, I'm gonna give him I'll give him A tier as well, because he is actually pretty decent for Marine HQ raid. Actually, yeah, I don't know, maybe A or B. Actually, I'd probably say B tier, because he's more of a raid unit only, not gonna lie. All right, next up we have Broly. Now, Broly is a single placement unit, which really sucks. And look at that starting damage, man. It is just crap. I'm not gonna lie. Here's his raid mode upgrade as well. All right, that's actually pretty sick though. Look at those effects. His max raid mode upgrade is very expensive, like 200k for only 14. Yeah, that much damage. Yeah, it's really bad, but he actually is decent for infinite mode. The nice thing about him is he basically hits the entire map. So, like, that's pretty sick. And his damage is also pretty good, and he's also very good for damage farming. So we'll give him credit for that. But overall, I don't see him using a lot of leaderboard strategies, etc. And he also is a hybrid unit as well. I don't see him using a lot of LB strategies, so we're going to give him A tier. All right, next up we have Diavolo. Now, Diavolo, his claim to fame is he's goated for Gauntlet mode. He's one of the meta Gauntlet mode units. Also, he sucks in a raid mode, not going to lie. And the problem with him is there's just better bleed units out there nowadays. So, like, you can get away with him as your bleed unit, but, like, compared to Zoro, his bleed is definitely on the mid side. Like, I know if you factor in SPA, maybe it's a little bit better, but, like, it's not great. And its AoE also sucks, but he does have this great ability Alright. His ability, he's OP for Gauntlet mode. And it's also meta for Infinite mode as well, especially if you're running with multiple players. So all in all, we're gonna have to give him low S tier. Alright, next up we have Gohan, who actually did just get a buff. Oh my goodness, he just break the... Oh, it's probably just... Let's 3x. We don't have this weird map anymore. It looks pretty cool though. Not gonna lie. So we have Gohan. Alright, now the nice thing about Gohan is he did get buffed. So he actually does a lot more damage than this. He does like double this damage. So overall his DPS got a lot higher. Now he does suck for raid mode. I'll show you his effects real quick. He really sucks for raid mode. Like, I can't recommend it. But if you guys are doing infinite mode, he's not a bad bet. So because of that, I don't know if he's even meta though. We're gonna give him I'll give him like A tier. I definitely think I would probably go with Sasuke over Gohan. All right, next up we have Zoro. Now Zoro's claim to fame is he is I think he might still be the best bleed unit. I'm not sure. Well, he's up there for like the best bleed unit. And the other thing that makes him great is he actually does hit air units as well. So he's definitely a highly recommended unit to bring. However, the only problem with him is there's still a lot of bleed units in the game that are like almost as good. So like if you guys are low on your Stardust, I probably wouldn't get him. But he also does have a sick blessing as well, which we should probably take a look at in a little bit. So if you guys want an all blessings video, let me know down below. We could probably do that. But let's go showcase this guy's effects real quick, and then we'll move on to the next batch of units. Take a look at that, guys. Pretty clean. Pretty clean. Actually, let's sell this guy. And I think... Oh, we can't sell this guy. So we will... Let's see if we can see just Zoro's. So Zoro just does that little purple thing, I think. So there you go. Let's go check out the next batch of units right after we rank these. So Zoro, I'm going to give Zoro... I'll give Zoro like high A tier. Maybe low S. Who else do we rank? There we go. All right, let's go check out the next batch of units. All right, here's probably my most controversial ranking. All right, we have Griffith. Now, the thing that makes Griffith great is he actually isn't even that bad for raid mode. Like, if you take a look at how cheap his upgrades are, like, look, for like, oh my goodness. Yeah, here's all his raid mode upgrades. Like, he's doing an insane amount of damage, guys. 100,000 DPS in raid mode, and he slows as well for 50k. That's actually really dang good. Now, he does have a slightly smaller AoE than the other slowing units, but he also does actually slow air units as well. So, I think he's actually the cheapest unit you can get to slow airs, actually. Let me double check. Yeah, he's up there with Ichigo. They're right around a similar price. And he also does insane amount of damage as well. So, I definitely don't think you should be using Ichigo anymore. Use this guy. So, he's the meta air slow unit. And also, guys, he has one of the highest DPSs in the game. So I highly recommend this guy right here. He is pretty much cracked. So let's go rank him. I'm going to easily give him S tier. I think that's easy rank. All right, next up, we have Guts. Now, what makes Guts good is, honestly, he's mainly just an infinite mode unit, though, to be honest. I mean, actually, this isn't bad. It's just not great. Like, you could definitely kind of use him. I mean, he's a little bit expensive, but you could kind of use him because that has some decent damage in other modes. But I definitely think he's more of an infinite mode unit with his Rupture attack. Now, Rupture, we're still not 1000% sure what it does. I think it's basically just Black Flame, but you can combo with Black Flame. And of course, with that 12.2 and 5 SPA and full AoE, he's pretty much just the highest DPS unit in the game. No cap. So I definitely highly recommend. If you're doing any solo runs on normal infinite mode where there's no airs, I definitely recommend it. But yeah, his Achilles heel is he does not hit air units. So be careful with that one, guys. But his damage is insane, and I love that SPA. He is just crazy busted, guys. And I'm going to be honest, if you guys are looking for a good first 7-star to get, I think Guts is probably the way to go. If you're trying to do infinite mode. He is just straight up busted OP. Like, legit. So honestly, in my opinion, I think he might be the best 7-star in the game. Like, just on a straight up damage basis. So I highly recommend this dude. Alright, next up we have Sid, who is also pretty much just up there with Guts. Alright, if we take a look and compare their stats, the main difference between the two is Guts is doing slightly more damage with a way better AoE. And what makes this guy good is he has this atomic all-range ability, which basically just does insane damage. Like, look at that. Like, we're already up in the billions. So his does 6 billion per enemy. It's basically insane. I don't know what happened here, but something happened there. So yeah, but the problem, and he also has good stats too, guys. I'm not gonna lie, like he's the best bleed unit in the game. So for that reason, actually I'll probably move Zoro down for that reason, because Sid is just way better bleed, except for air modes. So I'm gonna be honest, you guys can take your pick which one you like better. I think I could see it going either way. So you guys take a pick. Yeah. All right, let's go sell these guys and take a look at the next guy, Tundra. Now Tundra is different from the other units. This guy is made, straight up made to slash pretty much any raid mode in the game. This guy is busted for raids. Look at that, guys. Full AoE and sunburn, which is very OP. It also slows down the enemies as well. And it looks sick too. And the damage is insane, like legit insane for the price, because he's only like 16k for this. Like, come on. And then he does get this kind of AoE, which is fine considering it's basically the same size as full AoE. It just moves. And then when you max him out, he becomes cone AoE with insane damage as well. And the other thing that makes him nice, guys, he actually does hit those air units, which is crazy good. So like, honestly, like if you guys are doing infinite mode, you definitely want to consider having somebody bring Tundra. So for that reason, we're definitely, oh man, we're definitely going to be putting Tundra in the S tier. I'd probably even get Tundra before this guy. Yeah. All right, let's get it. All right, next up we have the MHA Star Pass units. Now, we don't know if these guys will ever come back or become tradable. They might, who knows. But yeah, so what makes this guy good is he basically, he can do anything. Like, you could bring him and he's basically every single support unit in one. He can stun, he can slow, he can hit airs, he can Q energy. Oh, I forget what that, I think that's like high SPA, and he can even buff as well. And his damage is actually pretty good as well, but the problem is if you do end up using him for damage, you can only then make him a buffer. But his damage is actually pretty dang good, and you can place 8 of them as well, which is very nice. So overall, he's definitely a great unit to have on your team. As far as him being S tier though, it's complicated. I might put him high A tier, guys. I'm not gonna lie. I could definitely see somebody using him for an LB strategy, but in my opinion, I think high A tier is fair. All right, next up we have a weird person to rank. His ability is kind of weird. I'm not sure where to put him. The one thing is his ability does work in his decay, works in like non-infinite modes because it's so cheap, like very, very cheap. And his damage is only kind of mid. So like, I don't know, man. And apparently his ability isn't like really meta. So I mean, I'm gonna be honest, I think we're probably just gonna have to put him in the B tier, unless somebody can show me a good way to use his ability to do insane damage. Like yeah, it just doesn't do damage fast enough until the enemies hit the base. So B tier for him. Yeah. All right, let's get it. Here we go. So next up we got Meliodas. Now Meliodas, he's not a bad unit. If you're doing Marine HQ, he can actually do some decent damage. Let me show you his raid mode stats. So for raid mode, he's looking at 700k for 8, so a little bit less than 100k DPS. But yeah, so it's not bad. But infinite mode, he definitely shines. He's also meta for gauntlet mode as well with his disintegrate ability. It cuts the enemy's HP by 60% from full, so it's really nice. And his damage isn't that bad considering he's more of a support unit. And he also does hit airs as well, so you can use him in air mode too. So overall, I think he's easily S tier. So yeah, but as far as like who I don't know, honestly, he's good for gauntlet mode too, just like Diavolo. So I don't know which one. They're about the same. All right, next up we have Aizen, who you get for free from gauntlet mode. He's the decent unit, guys. He's basically, he meta for every raid, guys. If you're trying to beat raid solo, you can pretty much beat like any raid solo with Aizen, I'm not gonna lie. And his damage isn't even that bad for infinite mode. What makes him meta though is his ability. Like, he has 2 abilities. Not only does he rewind, which is basically meta, he also can like summon OP enemies from the back. So I definitely highly recommend him. Very, very good unit, guys. So and he's free too, so you might as well just get him. So overall, I'd say he basically slaps all the raids. So I don't know, he's up there. I'd probably put him in high S tier. Yeah, I'd probably say he's probably about the 3rd best 7-star. I think Guts and Sid have a slight edge. All right, let's get it. Bro, so where's my window? All right, next up we have Mob. Now the problem is you can only use Mob or Sid, which unfortunately means that I can't really recommend Mob anymore. So like his ability does slightly more damage than Sid's, but it's not enough to make a massive difference. All right, he does do 7.5 billion per hit, which is nice. You can see if you have him, your damage stats basically stays maxed. And his stats as well are pretty good too, I'm not gonna lie. So he's a good unit, but unfortunately, we're gonna have to put him in the B tier because you can only bring one or the other. You can bring Sid or you can bring Mob. If you're doing air mode, bring Mob. If you're doing ground mode, bring Sid. So I guess actually maybe, okay, I'll give him some credit. I'll probably say it like this. But yeah, I guess a lot of the infinite modes do require that. So you know what, Mob has a shot for those metas. All right, but I guess his ability does hit airs as well. So his ability hits air, but I don't know, man. It's close. It's close, but I'd say get Sid, and if you have Sid, don't bother getting Mob. All right, next up, we have Katakuri. Oh my goodness, I'm definitely gonna get roasted for Katakuri. You can kind of use him for raid modes, but he basically shines. Actually, you could definitely use him for raid modes. He's a really cheap unit to max. So if you're in higher, he's a pretty decent unit. But the problem is, in my opinion, you might as well bring, Griffith instead. In my opinion, like Griffith is just better. So is Katakuri meta? Maybe, but I'm gonna say Griffith has the edge. Now I know I'm gonna get a lot of hate for this in the comment section, but it's my opinion, and I'm pretty sure it's the right one. Because I've done so many runs with Griffith as my slow unit, and he slows all the enemies just fine, and he also adds a ton of DPS to my team. So I think it's worth it to bring Griffith. Especially if you're bringing two people with slows. 2 Griffiths goes hard. All right, let's get it. Ichigo. All right, Ichigo's cool. He had like the highest starting damage for a 500 cash unit. Like you can easily get his damage over 100k if you use leader slot and fire rage orb. It's crazy. All right, now the thing that makes him cool is he is full AoE if you want him to, or he has this cool ability. Now the thing about this ability is it allows him to only hit air units. All right, when he's in Mugetsu. He's gonna change. Yeah, when he's in Mugetsu, he only hits air units, and then you can just change it back. So if you're in air mode, you definitely want to probably be bringing Ichigo. He slaps. So we're gonna have to give Ichigo, I'd say like high A tier, because he's only really good in my opinion for the air modes. But that doesn't. He's still a good unit. I just think you might as well get the other units. Actually, other units first. Yeah. All right. Next up, we have Princess Apala. She is basically god tier for she's basically a budget Rimuru. But she's still really good. She has a surprisingly high DPS, guys. But you can only place 4 of her, which really sucks. But she is meta for Gauntlet mode, and so I guess for that facts, we kind of have to give her high A tier, I'd say. Maybe low S tier, but she's not great for much else. All right, let's go check out the last 3 units. All right, here we go, guys. So we got, oh man, we got Vegeta. Now Vegeta, you can use him for Vegeta, which I guess is good. He's like Super Saiyan Vegu Blue with like God form. But so it's like Royal Blue or whatever. Now he has decent DPS and he's full AoE, but I can't really recommend him, even though he does hit airs. I think he's a decent unit overall. Now the thing that makes him kind of okay is he actually low-key decent for raid mode. If we take a look at his raid mode stats, for roughly 100k or 90k, you can do 1.2 for 7 with a 60 range, which you can easily increase with a good orb, which is pretty insane. So I definitely recommend him for anything that you need the blue element for, like the Sinjin raid. But other than that, he's kind of mid. And there's also better blue units anyways. So yeah. All right, next up we have this guy, Cell. You get him for free, but he's trash. Do not use him. All right, I don't have to explain this anymore. Like, please do not use him. He's the worst 7-star in the game. We already talked about this in my last video. All right, then we have Metal Cooler, who is basically the GOAT for raids. Now, Sid is actually better in my opinion, because the Sid Asta combo basically destroys any raid in the game. So that's pretty sick. But he used to be meta for raids, and you can beat like a lot of raids with him. So he's not a bad unit to bring, but overall, I definitely feel like he lost a lot of his pizzazz because Aizen, you can use Aizen instead of him, and you can also use Sid instead of him. So I know I'm gonna get some hate for this one as well, but I'm sorry, Metal Cooler, we're moving you to the A tier. Cell, you're trash, and honestly, Blue Vegu, you're kind of mid. Like, I'm gonna give you like low. I'm gonna give you better than Broly because you can use him. Actually, yeah, I'll probably give you there because you can definitely use him for raid modes. So there you go, guys. There's the new tier list. Let me know down below what you guys think. And yeah, I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.